Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live from our studios here in Accra. I am Wendy Lai. The headlines for this afternoon. Freddie Blay beats Stephen Ntim to become NPP chairman. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has congratulated new executives and called for support for the party to be retained in 2020. On health, the Mental Health Authority is yet to receive budgetary allocation for the year despite several appeals. And on the firing front, rescuers in Thailand begin hazardous operation to lead 12 boys and 1 adult out of a cave where they have been trapped for 2 weeks. Let's start with our stories now. We focus on politics, and acting national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Freddie Blay, has been elected substantive national chairman for the next 4 years. He beat Stephen Ntim and Dr. Richard Marco Ba to secure the position. Freddie Blay polled 3,021 votes. He joined the NPP after years of experience as a politician with the Convention People's Party, CPP. Freddie Blay had served as Member of Parliament for Elembele constituency for 20 years before leaving the political limelight, albeit for a short while. While in Parliament, he rose to become the first Deputy Speaker. Defecting to the NPP thereafter, Freddie Blay was elected first National Vice Chairman in 2014 in Tamale. The Deputy Executive Director of the National Service Scheme, Henry Nana Boakye, also won the National Youth Organizer contest for the party's national executive elections. Sammy Ewuku also won the National Organizer position. So let's go to our screen and bring you some updates on the results and what exactly happened yesterday during the National Delegates Conference for the NPP. And we start with the national chairman position. And the winner, as I mentioned early on, was Honorable Freddie Blay. He contended with other persons, including Stephen Ayensu Ntim and then Dr. Richard Marco Ba, who Stephen Ntim had 2,515 votes and Dr. Richard Amakoba had 18 votes. Let's move on to other positions. And for the first vice chair, Rita Asobare won that position with 3,671. We had other contenders as well, with the last person with the lowest votes being Agnes Chikabatia with 836 votes. For the second vice chair position, Frederick Fredua Anto had he won with the highest votes, and some of his contenders were Rita Asobare with 3,671. Also for Agnes Chigabatia, she had 836. For the third vice chair, Michael Omari Wadie won that position. And for the general secretary position, John Bwedu had that with 4,277. His other contender, Richard Ahiagba, had 1,274 votes. For the national treasurer, Kwabna Abankwa Yeboah won with 2,492. We had other contenders as well. Nuhu Mahama, 1,050. Poshia, that's Mary Posh Odro, had 1,012. Hajia Ahmed, 467. We had Abraham Obing Amwakohini, 447. Kwabna Opon Frimpong had 50, and he had the lowest vote for that very position. For the national organizer, Sami Ewuku won with 4,913. Suleiman Sadiq 942. Emmanuel Kodia had 266. And for the National Youth Organizer, Henry Nana Boache, he polled 423. Dominic Idia had 245. Kamaldeen Abdullahi had 102. And Emmanuel Nana Apia only had 1 vote. And for the National Women Organizer, Kate Jemfua led with 686, whilst Joyce Zampari had 109. For the National Nasara Coordinator, that's Abdul Aziz Haruna Futa, led that very position with 201. Ahmed Nuhu had 123. Alhaji Baba Dogo Mohammed 82. Alhaji Yaya Bio had 39. Rashid Adam 23. Alhaji Musa Sharif 19. Amin Abu 12. And then Abukari Suleiman 8. And those were the positions for yesterday's National Delegate Conference for the NPP, which was held in Koforidua, that is specifically the Koforidua Technical University. We'll bring you some more on the aftermath of the conference and then happenings thereafter. You're still watching Medela, but let's still stay with the NPP. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has congratulated the new patriotic parties as the national chairman of the party, Frederick Blay, and other national officers. He also commended the party for the efficient and successful manner in which the election of new officers was conducted. The president, in a statement, urged all to rally in unity behind the new national executives and ensure the party records another famous historic victory in the 2020 elections so as to effect the social and economic transformation of the nation. He also thanked officials of the Electoral Commission for their assistance and supervising the election. The new executives are to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years. From politics to other stories now, and the youth group of Bay Mobile Youth Association is appealing to government as a matter of urgency to construct the road linking Binde and Bumprugu in the Bumprugu-Nampanduri district of the northern region. In a press briefing, they indicated the deplorable state of the road has contributed poorly to the socio-economic development of the community.
The Bumprugu-Nampanduri district has a population of 122,591. The indigents are mainly farmers. However, the poor road network is a major challenge to the development of the area. The only road linking the district capital to other towns is entirely in bad shape and requires urgent attention. The state of the 6-kilometer stretch is having an adverse effect on transportation. The youth group, Bimobile Youth Association in Accra, called on President Akufo-Addo to repair the road. Chairman of the group, Joseph Maiga Ginger, lamented traders and farmers alike are affected as produce from the farms take longer periods to get to the market.
What makes the situation worse is when patients, mostly pregnant women, are referred to other hospitals outside the district. They go through a lot of pain on this stretch of the road. Sometimes lives which could have been saved would be lost in the process of the bad journey.
The situation also takes a toll on education, resulting in hikes in transport fares. A patron of the group, David Combat, expresses concern as the rains start, as some communities will be cut off.
You cannot cross when the bridge is flooded, and the road is so slippery, it's hilly. You know, those of you who know Bumprugu, when you are getting to Bumprugu, it's hilly and it's difficult to go up, okay, and difficult to descend. So we are appealing to the government. It's not a long distance, maybe about 7 kilometers. It's just about 7 kilometers, 6 to 7 kilometers, which I think if the government comes to do it, it's going to bring a great relief.
The group maintain the people of the area will continue to live in fear and panic if the road is not repaired.
And now to education. Pupils of the Kadwe District Assembly Basic School in the Pru East District of the Bunahafo region have been performing creditably despite the school's infrastructural and logistical challenges. It took the determination and hard work of the headmaster Enoch Kabu Ndi Basum for 9 years to ensure standards improved. Here's a report by Peter Kwao Adato.
Kadwe is one of the settler island communities near Yeji in the Pru East District capital of the Bunahafo region. Like any other fishing community, education is not a priority in most homes, as children must support fishing activities at all costs. As for homes with trafficked child laborers, the least said about education, the better. Additionally, teachers refuse posting to the area due to its inaccessibility and lack of accommodation. However, the post of Enoch Ndi Basum to head the Kadwe DA Basic School 9 years ago changed the situation. Without any swimming skills, Enoch accepted the challenge.
There are so many times you see teachers going elsewhere to the office to request for transfer, depending upon the situation on the ground. But I said, these children are Ghanaians, and the fact that I'm to serve the country, Ghana, wherever I am, no matter the challenge, I'm there for the job.
In spite of infrastructural challenges and lack of teaching materials, Enoch Ndi Basum remained resolute, went from house to house preaching the importance of education while encouraging fellow teachers to remain in the community.
There are so many things that I came to meet here. When I came here, teachers were not regular in school and a whole lot of things. But when I came, I took my lap on the ground and I made sure that the teachers come to school as required.
The Kadwe DA Basic is performing creditably at all levels.
From KG1 to P6, we have 8 classes, but we are now 6. And that has helped the performance of the children. I quite remember we took circuit quiz competition for primary school, and my school took 3rd in the competition.
9 years on, school still lacks infrastructure, but enrollment and academic performance have improved. Now, the school can boast of a teacher's bungalow and life jackets to ensure safety on the lake, thanks to an oil company and the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT. Their greatest desire is an improved infrastructure and furniture to boost teaching and learning.
We still stay in the Bunahafo region. The building house in the Pru East District Education Directorate is a dilapidated structure. Now, Peter Kwao Adato reports that the office structure at the district capital, Yeji, has weak windows and a leaking roof, which exposes teachers' records and other materials to the weather.
The Pru East District Education Office is located between a Premix fuel distributing park and a local boat building zone. At a glance, the structure appears normal, but a second and closer look makes you wonder if indeed it is a place meant to house an educational directorate. Both the interior and the exterior of the structure, including furniture, are in extremely bad shape. Just a push of a finger causes the weak plywood covering the unprotected windows to drop in pieces. The ceiling is equally weak and falling off whilst the roof leaks badly. Again, disheartening is the state of the furniture in the office. This is the general office with hardly a chair around. The least said about the teachers' files, folders and other vital records kept in the offices, the better. These vital documents are scattered in offices, the alleys and in unprotected corners and can be affected by rain. Officials were tight-lipped when approached for an interview. Obviously, they fear being victimized by authority for exposing the rot in the administration.
You're still watching Midday Live with me, Wendy Lai. Let's focus on health now. And the director of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Apel, says up till now, the Mental Health Authority has not received its budgetary allocation as promised by the president, despite raising several concerns. Dr. Apel made the disclosure at the second fundraising program to support psychiatric hospital here in Accra.
This year's fundraising occasion is to enable the Accra Psychiatric Hospital refurbish one of its most dilapidated wards, the Male Forensic Ward, also known as a Special Ward. The Male Forensic Ward is where male clients referred from court are assessed. Since its establishment in 1904, the ward has not undergone any major renovation, thus making it uninhabitable. The Mental Health Authority has constantly declared it as out of funds despite the passage of the Mental Health Act some 5 years ago.
Last year, we sought to raise 500,000 Ghana cedis. We raised 97,000 Ghana cedis. We bought what we call the electroconvulsive therapy machine used on patients who are depressed, those who want to commit suicide and others.
The director for Accra Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Ajua Pinaman Apo, indicated the male forensic ward was built for 70 inpatients but now has almost 140 inpatients. She says staff also work under deplorable and strenuous conditions.
The staff who look after these patients also work under unpalatable conditions. They are exposed to bed bugs and they are compelled to contend with the harshness of the weather, especially during the rainy season. The staff also do not have any toilet facility on the ward to use while on duty.
At the fundraising, the hospital raised 70,000 cedis out of the targeted amount of 160,000 cedis. To support the hospital, dial *718 *23*6# and follow the prompt to contribute your quota to the development of their condition. Patients at the special ward treated the audience to some great tunes.
Remember to send in your donations, as you heard, to some more stories. And people want to lose weight for many reasons, including to improve their health, regain a sense of control of their bodies, or achieve an appearance which they consider more attractive. Now, but what is the right way to effectively manage one's weight for optimal health? Joycelyn Wood has more.
Intentional weight loss in individuals who are overweight or obese can reduce health risk and increase fitness. According to the World Health Organization, at least 2.8 million people die annually as a result of being obese or overweight. Nutrition experts say maintaining a healthy weight reduces one's risk of getting chronic diseases. The experts agree that adopting healthy eating habits which promote weight loss, lowering total calorie intake, and regular exercising are key to long-term successful weight loss.
The quantities must be moderated. You don't take a whole bowl of fufu, big one, and skip your breakfast and skip your lunch, and in the evening go and sit behind that big morsel of fufu and have a bevy of meat around the fufu and say that you are eating good. You are going to kill yourself.
Exercise must come into the picture if you want to manage weight or lose weight. And exercise that will help you lose weight should be an activity that you will do and continue to do. So it should actually be like a daily affair.
A dietitian and lecturer at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Nana Kofi Asante, believes restrictive weight loss diet could lead to nutrient deficiencies.
Some people do a lot of proteins and they do small carb, and then they do a lot of fat, or do no fat and a lot of protein. But that is injurious because the food must be balanced. The right proportions of everything must be there.
A dietitian at the Trust Specialist Hospital in Accra, Wisdom Chukudi Lecha, also stressed the need for sustainable weight loss plans.
Weight challenges are lifelong challenges. If you take something and within 3 months you lose your weight, meanwhile you are around 35 years and you want to live to 80 years. So the next 45 years or so, the question is, what will you be doing? Will you continue taking that thing that made you lose the weight so quickly? Anybody who thinks about managing the weight or losing weight should think long term.
Wisdom Lecha encourages persons seeking to lose weight to create holistic lifestyle habits to maintain their desired weight.
This is Midday Live. Do stay with us.
double the pleasure and double the fun. On Saturday and Sunday, 28th and 29th of July, the Cake Fair is happening at the Accra Digital Center off the Circle Kaneshi Highway from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy free samples and great music. Find your favorite baker and get the latest baking equipment and accessories. Sign up for baking classes and more. Calling all bakers. Register now for vendor registration. The Cake Fair 2018 is free to the public. Everyone and anyone is invited. For sponsorship and inquiries, call 055-358-3269 or 023-180-9500. Official media partners, 3FM and TV3. Supported by Pink Panda Bakery, Zero 360, GeorgeBritain.com, Praise TV, Cypress GH, Downcourse Blog, and Krabita Media. The Cake Fair is proudly brought to you by Yellow October Events and Voice Out.
How relevant are your skill sets with your evolving role in the workplace? At Benchmark, we only provide high-quality training in globally recognized professional credential to enhance your personal value in ACCA, CIMA, CFA, CA Ghana, PMP, FRM, including practical business application courses in financial modeling, computerized accounting, and many more. Contact Benchmark Learning Center, Okpongno Junction, Legon, or visit benchmarkghana.com. Be smart, be outstanding. Benchmark.
Mayweather is braggadocious. You can try your best, bro, but you can never, ever see Mayweather.
Watch Ghana's Strongest this and every Sunday at 5 p.m. Ghana's Strongest, the power to do.
Ghana's Strongest shows this and every Sunday 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. only on TV3.
Ghana's Strongest is brought to you by Mixi Choco, Tame Hot, Day by Day Men Sport,
Tabia Herbal Mixture and Capsules.
Thanks, Sustain. Ghana's mortgage market is below 1% of its GDP compared to between 70 and 90% in developed economies, resulting in a huge housing deficit. But is a deficit in the middle to lower end of the housing market or in social housing? Ifwatieku has been finding out.
Incomes are generally low in Ghana, while rents are high. A decent single-bedroom house at Kaswa costs not less than 100,000 cedis. GHL Bank, formerly Ghana Home Loans, has been providing mortgages for about 12 years, and its executive director of business insists, despite the low incomes, harmonizing other income sources will enable one attain a mortgage.
Anything up to about $70,000, and they do price in dollars. So, 70,000 is the lower end of the continuum. And if your question is, can people afford these units? My answer is yes. And we know that because we have the evidence to back it up. But it is, with a bit of effort, it is achievable. There's enough to clear the demand of units built in that price range.
Blue Rose Limited is a real estate company with houses at Kaswa and has provided homes for about 1,000 families.
People came to us, some of them were having 5,000 and they were able to get a house. We have given houses to security men, teachers, nurses, doctors, bank managers. We cater for everybody.
In spite of this, about 60% of their sale is through mortgage, a product rarely patronized in the country. People tend to buy land and build by themselves outside of the mortgage market. So in the estimation of Kojo Adokofo, the deficit is in the realm of social or affordable housing, a state responsibility unfulfilled. A number of affordable housing projects by the state remain uncompleted and abandoned. Local private developers have often faulted governments for not partnering them in addressing the housing crisis, arguing it's a venture too costly to undertake themselves. Meanwhile, a number of them have or are putting up high-value buildings, especially in the capital, which some have criticized have little to no demand and also low occupancy rate, yet seem to appeal to them.
I don't think it's as simple as saying, oh, look, we have demand here and people are building the wrong kind of houses. It's a very complex picture. So what you have is a market which we kind of segment into the low end, the middle, and the high. And you find that when people talk of demand, they are referring to the kind of low to middle. But we also believe that there's a layer below that, which is social housing. And I think that's where the conversation should really start from, which is where government provides housing, not necessarily for purchase, but just for accommodation. Because there are some people who, unfortunately, because of their income levels, will never be able to own a property. Not in Ghana, probably not anywhere in the world. So that is a social housing issue, and that's something government must address.
And until that gets done, the current deficit of 1.25 million housing units is estimated to rise, something in the range of 2 million units by 2020.
And the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, John Peter Amewu, says for the country to ensure sustainable development, environmental degradation, including illegal mining, sand winning, will have to be halted. He also stressed the need for massive tree planting to help develop the ecosystem. Here's a report by Benjamin Edo.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, in collaboration with the Forestry Commission and other stakeholders, observed an International Day of Forests on the theme, maintaining a balance between urbanization and forest conservation. The day is set aside by the United Nations to raise awareness on the importance of forest and tree outside forest. The day coincided with the launch of the 7th Forest Week and Greening Ghana Day at Sakora Wono in Kwabre East of the Ashanti region. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources John Peter Amewu called on Ghanaians to help sustain the fight against the menace of illegal mining, particularly in the Bono Hafo, Ashanti, Western, Eastern and Northern regions. He announced plans by government to restore degraded forest reserves in the country.
We are embarking on massive tree planting and forest plantation development drive through the Youth Employment Program, promoting the conservation of biodiversity, protecting of water bodies, promoting ecosystem development, and ensuring strict enforcement of our laws.
The activities of illegal miners have led to the degradation of 952.7 hectares of forest. The Forestry Commission is recruiting 80,000 youth under its afforestation program to help reclaim degraded lands, forests and protect water bodies. Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Kojo Owusu-Efriye, said forest guards will be armed to effectively carry out their duties. Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah said the rate of depletion of forest resources should not be allowed to continue. Mayor of Kumasi, Osei Entry, called for support in the KMA's drive to green the metropolis.
Let's focus on some mission stories now. And inadequate classrooms at the Yulo Senior High School in the Jirapa municipality of the Upper West region is hampering academic work. Some students hung on windows to access lessons. School authorities say efforts at supporting the school improve infrastructure is slow.
Yulo Senior High School was established in 1991 as a day school as part of efforts to make secondary education accessible to the people, but was later given a boarding school status. The school has since been bedeviled with numerous challenges, including lack of infrastructure and acute water shortage. This pavilion served as a classroom block for part of the Home Economics Department. The assembly has, however, come to the aid of the school. This is to improve teaching and learning. A 6-unit classroom block and a toilet facility have been handed over to the school.
Let me say it's going to enhance teaching and learning, because when we went around, we realized that there are no facilities, and the few facilities that are available are crowded. So getting this facility, this 3-unit classroom block, is going to ease congestion, and then learning will be facilitated. The water, they say, is life. If this facility is there without water, especially the WCs, without water, it means it cannot function. So Assembly will do everything possible to provide the needed water so that the students will be able to benefit from the facility.
The facility, though having come at a good time, cannot be used by the school until a water system is provided. The Assembly has promised to come to the school's aid. School authorities were grateful and promised to ensure the school gets results from the project.
You're still watching Midday Live with me, Wendy Light. Some other stories and statistics from the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service indicate 80% of weapons found at crime scenes are locally made. However, monitoring of local gun manufacturing companies has been a challenge. MP for Menchia North, Collins Owusu-Amankwa, gave the statistics when he made a statement on the floor of Parliament.
The Menchia North MP stressed the need to recognize and effectively monitor and streamline operations of local gun manufacturing companies.
The local small arms manufacturing industry serves multiple sectors, clients and other purposes. Mr. Speaker, however, the sector is not officially recognized, a situation that is not helpful for arms control purposes. Right, Honorable Speaker, the statistics from the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, CID, indicates that small arms constitute the main instruments used in armed robbery, carjacking, and violent crimes, and 80% of weapons found at crime scenes are locally made.
He said the proliferation of small arms and light weapons was worrying, adding that between 1981 and 2013, over 1 million weapons had been registered to civilians by the Police Firearms Bureau. Collins Owusu-Amankwa was also worried less than 3% of gun permit holders renew their licenses annually, rendering loss of revenue to the state.
I urge that the National Commission for Small Arms and Light Weapons should be empowered more and be resourced enough to enable them effectively address leakages such as tracking of illicit arms in the system.
Other MPs called for mechanisms to be adopted to help curb the proliferation of small arms.
Ghana, in the sub-region, as well as many of the other countries, have porous borders, and therefore the monitoring of weapons coming in and out of the country is extremely difficult, which also reinforces the need for us to have a means of tracking and tracing weapons that are entering the country as well as weapons that are leaving the country.
As a country, we need to critically examine which position we want to place ourselves in terms of the management and the control of such arms.
Away from Parliament, Mondelez International has strengthened efforts to improve the livelihood of cocoa farmers as part of its Cocoa Life program. The program has supported about 37,000 cocoa farmers to increase their yields and also provide them with an alternative source of income. Here's a report by Ibrahim Abubakar.
In January 2008, Mondelez International launched the Cocoa Life program as a flagship cocoa sustainability initiative in Ghana. The program is aimed at creating value in the chocolate business, protecting and growing cocoa supply, brand and reputation, as well as consumer and customer value. The project has expanded from 100 communities in 5 districts in 2008 to 447 communities in 15 districts. Within the past 10 years, 37,000 cocoa farmers have been reached, with an increase in yield of 320 kilograms per hectare to 1,000 kilograms on the average. Some cocoa farmers have also been trained on alternative sources of income such as cream and soap making and rabbit rearing. An initial investment pledge of $45 million has been increased to $100 million, while the project has been extended to 2020. At a Durban to welcome Mondelez International European partners in Mansumem, country lead of the project, Yapepra Amekuji, said they intend to cover 500 farming communities.
If you look into our history, all these crafts like basket weaving, etc., were additional sources of income for cocoa farmers. When there was a lean period, then they will fall on that scale. So now we want them to go into livelihoods that have markets that will fetch them a good income.
Cocoa Board is targeting to produce at least 1 million metric tons of cocoa by the end of 2020, and the intervention from Cocoa Life is expected to help government achieve that target.
Stakeholders in the textile industry are pleading with government to impose high taxes on imported fabrics. At an emergency workshop in Accra, they requested government support in meeting the growing demand.
Local manufacturers have complained that the importation of fabrics cripples their business. They have also asked government to reactivate the operation of the task force to deal with the problem. The Ministry of Trade has since been given up to the end of the month to address the concerns of industry players. At a workshop to formulate new ideas, participants stressed on the need for Ghanaians to patronize locally manufactured goods. Some sections of the public have expressed concern about the capacity of local manufacturers to meet the demands of the market, but industry players contend that they have developed their capacity.
Most of people talk about finishing when it comes to made in Ghana products. Yes, majority finishing is a problem, but there are equally good ones that are good designers that are probably producing things that are wet that Ghanaians can consume.
They pleaded with government to facilitate the process of reducing the cost of doing business.
The product that we use are raw materials, regards to fabric being accessories or materials that we use in producing are probably cost-wise very low. It will help us to produce, and also our prices wouldn't go that much high.
Recommendations at the end of the workshop will be presented to the Trade and Industry Ministry.
Let's focus on the Ghana Journalists Association. And the association has given the police service 2 weeks ultimatum to release its investigative report on the assault of multimedia journalist Lateef Idrisu. President of the association, Ronald Afil-Moni, said he would petition the vice president on the matter if the police fails to identify the assailants.
In March 2018, police officers brutally assaulted Lateef Idrisu, a journalist of Multimedia Group Limited, in the course of covering a demonstration staged by supporters of the National Democratic Congress at the headquarters of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service in Accra. Following the assault case, the GJA issued a press statement to condemn the unwarranted attack. At a meeting held by the police administration on April 16, the IGP gave a firm assurance of prompt police investigation into the case. The IGP added that appropriate action would be taken against any officer found culpable. It's been almost 3 months of investigation, and the police say it still wants time. The president of the Ghana Journalists Association, GJA, Roland Afil-Moni, said the delay is unacceptable. The GJA has called on the IGP to expedite action to find the perpetrators of the act for justice to be served. The GJA has called on the IGP to expedite action to find the perpetrators of the act for justice to be served.
The police stand the risk of doing irreparable damage, reputational damage, if they fail to act and act expeditiously and act satisfactorily. This is a time to push together and then tell the perpetrators in the police service and other would-be perpetrators that they will not have it easy should they touch a single journalist.
Roland Afil-Moni urged media organizations and journalists to join forces to protect the image of the profession.
To health, and Priscilla Tego is a brain tumor patient. She needs 19,000 Ghana cedis to undergo corrective surgery at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. TV3 News visited Priscilla at home.
Priscilla Tego has been diagnosed with brain tumor. She is 23 years old and a single mother. She is bedridden. The tumor started with a lump on her forehead during the early stages of her pregnancy, and later in the 7th month, her legs got weak. She is unable to do anything for herself. This is the wheelchair that aids her movement.
I'm suffering. I cannot do anything for myself. Please help me.
Priscilla's mother, Christiana Ahiadogbe, lamented that all means to raise funds for her daughter to undergo corrective surgery has been futile.
I don't have any hope. I am calling for support.
If you've been touched by this story, remember you can send in your donations quickly to help support Priscilla. This is Media Library of Sports. Next with Fiorina. Do stay. And Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has begun a visit to Eritrea days after the two countries agreed to end a 2-decade-old border dispute. He was welcomed by the Eritrean capital, Asmara, by President Afewerki. The trip follows a visit to Addis Ababa by an Eritrean delegation. Next, we have entertainment. And entertainment this afternoon, the ability to stay in character and to make people believe that what they're doing is true is to a large extent defines a good actor. One actor who fits that definition is Sugar Daddy, aka Mark Jordan Amate. Here is a special throwback with Mark Jordan, who played Mr. Mensah in Fatal Decision, a movie produced in 1992.
Hello.
My sweetheart.
I don't know it was 5 p.m.
Why?
Until I heard you knock at the door.
Is that right?
Oh, you are welcome, my dear.
Thanks so much. How is that today?
Everything is fine.
Good.
HN Films produced movie Fatal Decision was a blockbuster in the early 90s.
If possible, try and get a second wife just to see if God will bless us with a child.
The movie featured almost all the top actors then: Grace Norte, Reverend Eddie Kofi, Mercy Ofe, who played Mrs. Mensah, and star actor Mark Jordan Amate.
Now, Sarah, your game is up. And the show is over. Whose shoe is this? And that. And this.
I don't know anything about it. Please, it's a plot.
Mark Jordan, who was under a spell by his second wife, accused his loyal first wife of infidelity and sacked her.
Super Odi came and did all that. He went to our bedroom. He scrambled and just for the service to appear as if something had taken place. So when I got in from work, looked out, watched, and said, what is this? I suspected my wife.
Beyond the accusations were insults and name-calling.
A man like me, for somebody to have sex with my wife, you can just imagine. I bled and blasted her and all that. Insulting her, she'll go away. She should leave at once. I shall. Hey, free me here. I shall. It was a moment of hell for the woman.
Not even the intervention of their pastor would appease Mac J. But alas, Mrs. Mensah passed away after years of ill treatment and solitary life. It was just a movie, but fans hated Mac Jordan for his wife's death. Mac J revealed he was almost beaten by some emotional fans in Tema.
And they spoke in Fanti or Tree. We are Bonnie, we are Shanim, we are Sa, who wife, on your prostitute. Now, who and they were seriously. You could imagine it was a reality.
Yeah.
I was smiling and all that.
The memories are simply amazing. Well, that's what you get when you're good at your act. You end up getting emotions out of people.
Who tells you we drink? Who tells you? You are a big liar. In fact, I have regretted that. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
May his soul rest in peace. To some other entertainment stories, and there have been rumors in the last few months about award-winning rapper and boss of Sark Nation, Michael Owusu-Addo, that he's getting married to his longtime girlfriend Tracy this month of July. Now, the two lovebirds are set to marry on Tuesday, July 17, at a location yet to be known. Sarkodie and Tracy's marriage has been a subject of discussion for many celebrities, and the marriage ceremony will come as a relief to fans of Sarkodie, who have been asking when the king will make his baby mama a wife. On that note, we end Midday Live. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs and do have a lovely afternoon. Good afternoon.